12 manipulation patterns that judges and professionals miss, or at least misinterpret. So these are all behaviours that on the surface look reasonable to people who don't understand the dynamics. We're going to go under the hood and look at what they really mean. So number 1, strategic reasonableness. So they appear calm, cooperative and reasonable in professional settings, and they'll use a lot of language that makes them sound like they are child focused. So I'm just concerned for the children's welfare. What happens in private is completely different, almost like chalk and cheese. Like in private, they're controlling, they are aggressive, they are accusatory, they bring the conflict. But on the surface, they might look calm and therefore might be seen as being credible. Number 2 is the concerned parent mass. I just want to be clear here. I work with concerned parents every single day. I know that you are concerned. This is not for you or about you. This is about the mask. So someone who is pretending to be concerned. So what they're doing is they're going to a professional with a completely random concern when there's no evidence for it, but they're looking like they're creating a very soft narrative that there's something not quite right, something you should be looking for. As humans, it creates curiosity. We go looking, and it can trigger that caution and curiosity to find something wrong. And like I say, on the surface, just looks like concern, a good parent being concerned. Number 3, preemptive accusations. So these are accusations made prior to anything happening. So prior to you even getting into court, and they are raised to control the narrative. They are all about that first chapter, laying the foundations. This is what this case is about. It's about these allegations. Now, those allegations don't have to have any evidence, any proof, but family court can become an echo chamber. So once it's mentioned in one document, it can get passed down, and no one has actually, by document 3, no one's actually bothered to go and fact check on document 1. So it's a really, really powerful tool that they use, and one that makes it incredibly hard to unpick the case. Number 4 is evidence flooding. And this is where they basically just shove everything, and I call it a scattered bomb approach. So they throw things that aren't even relevant into the mix to stop people from paying any serious attention to what is going on. They also have this way of thinking that professionals will think, oh, there's so much that they're going to believe me. And kind of we do have that tendency to think, oh, well, if they've got loads of stuff, then something must have happened. Doesn't mean it. Honestly, does not mean it at all. So it's really important that you chuck out any irrelevant materials, challenge them early on so that you undermine that credibility straight away. Number 5 is selective compliance, otherwise known as disguise compliance. And this is when they'll say yes to things when professionals are watching. So they'll agree to do something, they'll agree to make a change, they'll even agree to the court order. And I've literally known people walk out of that and have a message on their phone immediately wanting to make changes. They'll make changes in the writing of it because they want to be seen as being one thing, but in reality there's something else. Some disguise compliance or selective compliance is a way for them to do that. And also it creates plausible deniability because they can say, oh, well, it wasn't me. I did agree to it, and I would have done it if blah blah blah. And then excuse. Often as well in family court, people don't check the facts. So if both of you are assigned to do something and they don't and you do, it will just go down as that bit wasn't completed. Sometimes they will, but in my experience, it'll be down that neither of you did. Not neither of you did it, but it wasn't completed, and no one will bother to say why it wasn't completed. Number 6, child loyalty engineering. So this is where very subtly the parent puts emotional pressure on the child to choose sides, to come into a loyalty conflict. So in the child's head, they love both parents, but that's not to say that they might not see things in one, but as children, we want to love. We need to love for attachment purposes. We need as many people around us to keep us safe and keep us alive. And so children are built and pre-programmed to attach, not to unattach from people. So a narcissistic parent will try to sever that through creating this loyalty conflict in the child, whereby the child is pushed into making a choice between the two of them. And this can be in lots of different ways. It can be through very subtle manipulation of, they withdraw when you say something nice. When the child says something nice about you, they criticize them, they withdraw, they get angry. So the child learns, oh, well, I better not say anything nice about them. And then the positive reinforcement of when they say something horrible about you, oh, yeah, no, give us a hug. They give the child what they need in that moment. And so the child learns very quickly which is the right and wrong answer. And then it just builds from there. And it unfortunately does create genuine distress in the child and confuses their brain, creates this cognitive dissonance, which as an adult survivor, you know how difficult that is. So number 7, professional grooming. They recruit professionals to do their bidding. Again, it's part of plausible deniability. And it creates that echo chamber. So they will build rapport very quickly. And I've even known some get into relationships with some of the people. That is how powerful they are at creating these quick rapport and making people feel that they're special. You know that I'm not preaching to the choir here, but they do that with professionals so that they can get them on board, so that they can be the ones doing the bidding. So clean hands essentially for the narcissist, because they can go, it's not even me. I'm not even saying anything. Kafka's are doing this. The teachers are saying this. So it's all part of that step back, let everyone else do their bidding, really. And unfortunately, those kind of professionals, they hold a certain amount of authority and trust within the court system. And so once they've got one of those on side, you're then up against 2 people. And again, that's purposeful, because you've got split attention. You've got 5 people who are all against you with a false narrative. You've got very split, and that means it's really hard for you to fight. Number 8, reframing safeguarding as conflict. One of my biggest bugbears. Professionals and narcissists will play into this. So they might realise that they can't get fully across the line that you're the problem, but what they can do is they can get it to the point where you're both as bad as each other. So they will make counter allegations straight away. They were obviously using DARVO, and they might accept responsibility for some things, but they'll say that's just how the relationship was. That's just who, we both. And it's very much that we're both as bad as each other. This is parental conflict. And, it is so frustrating when it's clear that only one side is bringing the conflict. And unfortunately, courts do default to that a lot of the times. They do default to that joint blame. Child narrative shaping, I've kind of covered that already. So it's once they've moved them from that loyalty conflict, they will then start shaping what they want the children to go out and say. Once they've kind of got the control over who the child has learnt to align with, then they can start telling them what to say, really coaching them what to say. Provocation and reaction, so deliberately provoking, debating, which makes you look unstable. Number 11 is image management, so creating this perfect false self that everyone falls in love with. Like, I'm a great parent, I do all of this, and actually it's all a control mechanism, but they might come across well. And number 12 is litigation control, so using the system to abuse you. Let me know how many you recognise.